Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I'm Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Here to take a look at the pitching for today, the 20th of August. We do have a 6-game main slate today and then a 3-game evening slate. So 9 games to worry about. Obviously, a lot less pitching to deal with, but still a good number of games, quite a bit of money to be won, etc. A reminder that this is a first look at the pitching options on the slates, and I am looking at DraftKings as that is where majority of my action is. If you play in FanDuel, cut my pool in half or so. Pricing isn't quite as tight. You don't have to be as creative. It allows you to get stacks you want with an upper tier-ish pitcher. Now let's just jump right in. I don't believe we have any weather to worry about. Go back and look. Yeah, I haven't seen any updates or anything, so it should be good to go. St. Louis, Cincinnati, a game that I much prefer offenses in. I think of the two guys, the only one I'm considering would be Michael McGreevy, just because we know that the Reds can strike out plenty. He was solid against them the first time we faced them, and that might be good enough for us on this particular slate. Pretty decent price too, but it's not like we need to spend down at pitching. Brady Singer hasn't been very good over the last handful of starts. 3+ runs allowed in 5 straight starts. One start against St. Louis, 4 runs allowed, just 1 earned, but he has been decent at home, which is kind of surprising given the ballpark, but K numbers really low. St. Louis not really a huge K team. I think I'm pretty good passing on Brady Singer. Toronto and Tampa Bay. Shane Bieber at home has been all right. Shane Bieber on the road has not been. ERA over 8, average against 318, whip of 218 through 20 2/3 road innings. Had a solid start against Tampa Bay at home. 22 fantasy points is pretty strong. Coming off of a pretty strong 22.5. With that said, I am all over the Tampa Bay side. I'm not going to be playing Shea Bieber today against the Tampa Bay offense. Ian Seymour on the other side, basically 20+ DK points in 5 straight starts. Somebody that I am completely fine utilizing. He had 19.9 against Toronto a month ago. That's his lowest start over that last month. So 7+ strikeouts in 4 out of the last 5. So I know Toronto doesn't strike out a whole lot. There are a couple Toronto bats that I don't mind today. Alejandro Kirk being one that I really like, but still, overall, I think that Ian Seymour is definitely somebody we want to be heavy on. San Francisco and Cleveland, we get our number 1 pitcher on this day's slate, Gavin Williams, coming off of an atrocious start at home against San Diego. I am expecting a bounce back from him. Overall numbers, he's been much better at home, but he does score just slightly more fantasy points at home. He's just strong wherever he does. He's just fewer home runs allowed. 1 every 7 innings is a big number. His walk rate falls. His K rate goes, I guess it's probably pretty similar, but just overall, the last couple of years, he's been better when pitching at home. That San Francisco lineup is pretty ugly looking, so Gavin Williams easily the number 1 pitcher on the slate. Landon Rupp on the other side, the last 4 appearances over the last month or so have not been good. I am going to go there, but I don't feel great about it. He's been worse on the road, which you kind of expect because pitchers in San Francisco obviously get a boost from the ballpark. About a K per inning guy, but man, it's tough. I actually think I might like McGreevy a little bit more than Landon Rupp the more that I look at it. The A's and Kansas City. Dobnik's actually been somewhat decent in 2 out of his last 4 starts. I'm going to utilize him. 1 run or fewer in, what is that? 6 out of his last 7 starts or appearances, I guess. Because some of these you followed an opener early on, but still, not a huge upside guy, right? Like 6 strikeouts last time out is the highest on the season. 4 before that, but he's been at 90+ pitches in 6 of the last 7. The A's lineup super weak with all their injuries. I know some of the A's batters are heating up or are hotter right now, but still, I think Dobnak has to be in play based on the opponent. Gage Jump. A couple of Kansas City bats are heating up, but a couple of their hottest hitters are left-handed bats. One of them, Jack Caglianone, is actually not even in the lineup today. He left last night's game injured, so I think Gage Jump is an excellent GPP option. He has some super low performances over the last 3 weeks, but he also has a 27 and a near 31. Just big time upside. The walks are a big issue, though. 4+ walks in 4 out of his last 5 starts. If he can find a way to limit those, like the strikeout upsides there, he's throwing 100 pitches in each of his last 2 starts. I love the raw upside of Gage Jump. He's probably my second favorite pitcher on this slate. Seattle and Milwaukee. We've seen both teams show up offensively in this series. I think Gosser probably a little bit more reliable than Dustin May, but I don't know that it comes with a ton of upside. Now, as I wait for everything to load, Seattle generally is not a team that I'm too afraid of from an offensive standpoint, especially against left-handed pitching, but Gosser might be a guy that finishes in the 15 to 17 fantasy point range. He's been basically between 16 and 18 and a half in 4 out of his last 5 starts. I don't expect him to be super clean. He'll probably give up a run or a home run or whatever. It's just a matter of if he can pick up a few strikeouts without walking anybody. I think he's fine. The positive for him is he's gone 94 and 102 pitches in each of his last 2 starts. That increase in pitch count definitely helps him, gets us a little length into the game. So Gasser's definitely somebody I need to be exposed to. George Kirby on the other side has looked pretty bad in 3 out of his last 4 starts. 2 starts ago, only 1 run allowed, but just 2 Ks, just no fantasy point upside in them. It's been a little bit since he's shown up. I don't love picking on Milwaukee at home. Kirby hasn't been the greatest on the road either. I am going to mix in some Kirby, though. I think there's a potential, given the slate we have, where just a mediocre outing from Kirby could equate enough to SP2 territory. I definitely much prefer Gage Jump and Ian Seymour over somebody like Kirby. Probably prefer Gosser over Kirby in this matchup. Atlanta and the White Sox, I honestly have zero interest in either pitcher. I've obviously been using pitchers against the White Sox plenty. I just don't think that person is going to be Grant Holmes for me today. He has been better on the road, so maybe that means we should consider him more. And maybe I'm making a mistake, but I am going to pass on Grant Holmes and be somewhat heavier on the White Sox bats. Anthony Kay, a guy that could easily end up with 16 to 18 fantasy points and be in the running to be SP2 on this slate, because Atlanta has struggled mightily over the last handful of days, but I am not using Anthony Kay. I'm kind of hoping that we get a little bit of a wake-up for the Atlanta Braves. Plus, even when Anthony Kay can shut down a team enough, he still only had, he still has games where he has 10.8, 11.8, 9.2 where he gave up 1 run, 15 where he gave up 1 run, 16 where he gave up 1 run, 12 giving up 2 earned. So, just by him shutting a team down does not necessarily mean he's going to put up 18 to 20 or more than that. So, Atlanta could have some struggles in 5 innings against him, but he still might only put up 12. And if that's the case, I feel pretty good about not having him in my pool. Switching over to the night slate, just a 3-gamer to worry about. You get Garrett Cole against Baltimore and Kyle Bradish. Cole's been pretty good over the last month and a half to 2 months. Basically since July 3rd. His 2 starts below 20 fantasy points, and those were 15 and 17. So it's not like they were horrendous ones. His K numbers have been pretty decent, even though he does only have 5 in 2 of his last 3 starts. One of those starts a game against Toronto, who doesn't strike out all that much. I like Garrett Cole. He's a little worse on the road, but still, I think there's plenty of upside for him against this Baltimore lineup. Kyle Bradish on the other side has plenty of upside, but he is pretty volatile. Single-digit fantasy points in 3 out of his last 4. which is weird considering 3 out of his last 4 and 5 out of his last 6 he's allowed 2 earned runs or fewer. 2 starts against the Yankees, averaging 15 DK points per game on the season. I think one of those he put up a 29 and then a 1. So he's absolutely dominated New York once. Both of his starts came over 3 months ago against them. So obviously things have changed. This is not the same Yankee lineup either. So there are a bunch of struggles. The one worry I have is his strikeout numbers have cratered. Walks were up last start, but still 4 or fewer strikeouts in 5 straight starts is not going to get it done. With that said, I think he's probably my 3rd favorite pitcher on the slate. Maybe 4th. I might have to like Peter Lambert more because he has a better raw matchup. To be honest, the slate's got strong pitching. 4 out of the 6 guys are guys that I definitely want to use quite a bit. It would be great to have those guys on the main slate. DeGrom came out after 2 innings last time out, so I do have some worries, right? Like, is it going to flare up again? His triceps out of nowhere. There's upside. We know the Washington lineup is weaker without James Wood, Curtis Mead, Luis Garcia, etc. So DeGrom's certainly going to be a play. It's been pretty volatile, though. Over the last month and a half, just 1 start above 17 fantasy points, despite allowing 2 earned or fewer in 4 of 6 starts. Strikeouts haven't been there either. 4, 3, and 3, and 3 out of his last 4. He's probably my 4th favorite pitcher on the slate, now that I look at it. It's he and Bradish, 3rd and 4th. Peter Lambert, somebody I want to utilize. Obviously, elite matchup from a K upside standpoint. He does get a little trouble against the reverse splits. Like, his reverse splits are so extreme. But the Angels can hit right-handed pitching by their righties. The thing is they obviously DFA'd Soler. They traded away Joe Adell. So their right-handed bats aren't as potent as they were previously. So he just really has to deal with Trout and Neto, as far as I'm concerned. 12 strikeouts and 11 and a third against them this season across 2 starts. See what kind of upside. 19 fantasy points in one of them. And then 13.8 in the other. Just 2 earned in that one. Yeah, Lambert's going to be my 2nd favorite on the slate. I don't think I'm getting anywhere else. Andrew Alvarez has been fine, but I just don't think I want to use him. He just doesn't excite me from an upside standpoint. But given that it is a 3-gamer, if you wanted to mix in Alvarez, I'd probably be okay with it. But Grayson Rodriguez is a name I'm just not using. He did have a pretty strong start against Houston. Actually, 2 decent starts against Houston. 15 and 15.2. But still, 2+ runs allowed in every start but 1 on the season. So that's 12 of 13 starts where he's given up 2+ runs. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8 of his 13 starts, he's given up 3+ runs. So, yeah, just no desire to play Grayson Rodriguez on the 3-gamer. But there we have it. There's the pitching breakdown for you. If you like what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc., there will be a link in the description below. You can use promo code BOOK, BOOK. That'll get you 20% off any membership at the website. There's a link to the merch store. You can check out my design, some of the other stuff that we do have. And as always, best of luck, everybody.